Hi everyone, so today's video, I just shot another video. You know, the more videos the merrier. I really feel like that. I really feel like the more videos the merrier, so just start getting them out. I was talking about how as a black woman sometimes, or I'm only 19, can I be considered a black woman yet? I don't know, but oftentimes we as black women are placed in situations where the world, or not even the world, but we're being raised to believe that we have to be strong. And in all honesty, it's actually not required for us just to be strong and, you know, just the bearer of all of this stuff. Like, we don't have to hold everything onto our shoulders. We don't even have to be on the front lines of a lot of things if we really don't want to. This misconception or myth that black women are just naturally strong is something that has been deteriorating the health of black women. I know emotionally, mentally, just because that's a tiring myth, especially when you see other ethnic groups of women and they're not required to be not at least strong in the sense that, you know, black women are required, where it's, you know, we're seen as, we're supposed to be soldiers, warriors, we're supposed to be on the front lines for all these issues, we're supposed to be taking the brunt of all of this force, we're supposed to protect black men. And I think a lot of the times it becomes very, very traumatic for us. And I don't know how to say it in any other way than just that. It's mostly it is self-inflicted. And I think the reason it's self-inflicted idea that you have to be strong is just because it's normalized. And when something is normalized, you don't even really think twice sometimes of it being like, hey, this isn't even benefiting me. Recently on Twitter, there was the issue of, you know, people who had been experiencing, who had experienced sexual assaults in the past, coming forward, and they basically said the reason this is why I had never told. And there was, you know, each reason differed for many people. But when I was seeing so many black women post their stories and tell why they hadn't told anyone, a lot of black women were like, I just didn't want to be the cause for, you know, another black man's downfall, or I didn't want to be the reason that a black man, you know, didn't succeed. And I thought it was really twisted, just in the sense that it's like, wow, we're really raising ourselves to believe that you have to protect someone over your own sanity, your own sanity, your own safety, your own health, whether that be emotional health, physical health, or mental health. There's this idea that you do not come first, and that's extremely toxic, and it needs to end. So I think one of the ways that we can put it to an end is by saying, look, I'm going to stand by you. I'm going to stand by you, and let's take. And I know some people is just like, you don't want to, it really just depends on the person, but I'm not necessarily talking about, you know, going to authorities, but I'm saying, like, can we at least have that bond in person as individuals, where it's like, if this person has abused you, I will not associate with that abuser. And a lot of people were like, if I'm associating with your abusers, let me know. When it came to certain abusers being revealed, then it was like a shift in people's responses. All of a sudden, it was more like I won't associate with your abuser unless it's this person. And it was coming from both sides, of both women and both men. And I think it was more shocking for me because there were women who had been abused, who came out, who weren't willing to disassociate from certain abusers. So there was just a lot going on, and it's a sensitive topic to talk about, but we have to go ahead and we need to have this discussion. I think a lot of this stems from just the way we're raised to view this abuse. Like, there's a lot of people within different black families who know an abuser. Someone in your family probably knows an abuser, and they shelter that person, whether that be a man or a woman. They shelter that person from their actions. and they basically decriminalize the act of actually abusing a child or abusing anyone, because a lot of this stems from a lot of this stuff happening to people when they were very young, and it just never they never got the justice that they deserve. And it's just like they are healing on their own, or I at least pray that they're healing with others, that they've got the support system. You know, I think college has been like the biggest eye-opener for me, because I've really have seen women, you know, who people would consider hypersexual, and then, you know, they turn around and they're like, yeah, but I think a lot of times I act this way is because of the abuse I faced in my younger years. And it's just like, and not to say that everyone who is hypersexual has faced abuse as a child or anything like that, but you know, there's a connection there as well. And not even to say that being hypersexual is a bad thing, because it's not. But for some people, sex has become a coping mechanism, and it doesn't get talked about. It doesn't get talked about like at all, and it's very strange to me that we would prefer to not talk about it than to talk about it. But yeah, I think just from being someone who has not experienced abuse, it was just very eye-opening to me to see just how many people it is who have. Really, what I'm getting to is just there's just this narrative of you have to be a strong person and you have to put everyone's needs before your own, is ultimately destroying our community inside out. So I want to challenge Black women specifically to let go of that narrative that you have to be strong. It's okay for you to cry. It's okay for you to be like, I just don't want to do this today. Like, it's completely okay for you to be in touch with all of those emotions, all of those thoughts, and to really heal yourself however it is that you need to be healed, or however it is that whatever your desires that you seek, it's okay to pursue those desires as long as, you know, it's not causing harm to others. People don't talk about this, but I know it has to be happening to other people. Like, what is your place right now, specifically as a Black woman in America, when you feel like, you know, you're putting in more effort than the counterparts? Specifically men. I've been having this debate back and forth with just the roles of Black men, Black boys in America. I've just been seeing so many little dark-skinned girls on the front lines in protests, you know, screaming Black Lives Matter. And it's not like I disagree, you know. Why are these the girls that you're having marching today? I don't see a lot of coverage of dark-skinned Black girls at all, ever, on anything, on any type of platform. So for the first time, for me to see such a surge of so many images and videos of dark-skinned Black girls, it's getting to a point where, like, we gotta understand that this has to be propaganda. There is no way, like, you're trying to push this image that we're strong from birth, that we're not necessarily real children, that we don't have childish desires, that we're just out here and we can hold the whole world on our shoulders, that we can lead whole movements by ourselves. And it's just not okay. And I'm quite honestly disgusted by a lot of it, because I just feel like it's not fair to children. And of course the children are gonna look happy marching and protesting because there's attention on them. And you know, you like attention as a child, even and as an adult. Like, that's just the world we live in, where, you know, you like attention, and that's totally okay. But I don't think that's the place for young girls. Like, we're talking about like 10 and younger being out there, just being on the front lines. It's ridiculous to me. Yeah. It just was one of these conversations I just felt like need to get out there and just start a conversation on, you know, what is the role of Black women? What if you don't want to be on the front lines? How do you show your support without physically being there sometimes? I'll just say it's exhausting to me. It's exhausting to me to always have to say, yes, I'll be there for you constantly, when I know it's not always the same way. It's not always reciprocated. So that's definitely something that I just think we're gonna have to talk about. And really figure something out. Yeah, so that will be the end of this video. I feel like I've just been tiptoeing around words. I'm not trying to demonize my community or what my community has done, but it's okay. But I feel like at some point you have to bring to light the issues within the community to get better, really. So thank you guys for all tuning in, and I hope to talk to you guys soon. Thank you.